What was the blessing to the early church? Well, they were living in a time of great disparity between socioeconomic classes. Most of them were poor. Everybody they saw in power was rich and powerful. And so what they saw here is, instead of spending their life wishing that they could have what all the rich and famous have, they had Jesus. They had endless life. They had forgiveness. And they could live in this dark world with Jesus as all they needed. And by the way, where they lived, that map, that was the most materialistic, ostentatious part of the Roman Empire. I told you, they have more gigantic temples there than anywhere else in the Roman world. And they were living in the middle of it. And so what John, who's writing Revelation, had already written was a letter to the same area. 1 John chapter 2. And John says, don't love the world, this whole system of Satan. The things that are in the world, don't love those either, because they're all going to burn up. And so basically this chapter is, are you living for what will never burn up? What are you putting in your cart? Your little Walmart cart that you're going to dump out in front of Jesus Christ, all of your life you lived with all the sins removed? It's just what you did that wasn't sinful. How much of what we did with our time is not going to burn up? That's what this whole chapter is about. So let's walk through, starting in verse 1. After these things, I saw another angel coming from heaven with great authority. Now look at these angels. The earth was illumined. See, angels exceed anything we can understand. I mean, this angel, which is probably one of those that stands in the presence of God, what happened to Moses after just a little time on the mountain? He started glowing. This angel's always facing God. And he glows because, look, he's so powerful that it's just like a giant torch coming down. And he cries with a loud voice saying, Babylon the great is fallen, has become the dwelling place of demons, a prison for every foul spirit, a cage for every unclean and hated bird. Now look at verse 3. All the nations have drunk the wine of the wrath of her fornication. What did the Lord say through James in chapter 4? Whoever loves the world becomes God's enemy. And he says, you adulterers and adulteresses, know you not that friendship with the world is enmity with God? Did you catch what James, the brother of Jesus, the first pastor of the church in Jerusalem, the first New Testament book, what James says to Christians? If you love the world, you're an adulterer and adulteress from God's perspective. Look at this verse. Her fornications, the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and with the merchants of the earth have become rich through the abundance of her luxury. What it's saying is, spiritually, to love the world more than God is, in his sight, like sexual immorality. Only it's the immorality of idolatry. That's why Paul said, I wrote at the bottom in little letters, Colossians 3:5, therefore put to death your members which are on the earth, fornication, uncleanness, passion, evil desire, and look at this, covetousness, which is idolatry. Remember I told you that this is the top shelf of life, that's where God is, like my pen is like God? Do you know what we do? We keep a lot of stuff on the top shelf. They're not more important than God. They're just the same. That's idolatry. Because what it does is it pushes God out of being the sole most important. That's what God is. And things crowd him out. By the way, someone said you want to send me a note. You can send me a note on Facebook. That's my name. You'll know it's my page because Bonnie's face is on my Facebook page. And that's our YouTube channel. Some of the rest of you asked me about justification and other stuff. I have a video on every one of them. But Satan's two deadliest agents are this. Religion, making my own way to God. Materialism, wanting stuff rather than serving God. It's so simple. And God says, don't love the world, don't want stuff more than me.